You've heard so much about investing. You want to invest too. But are you in the right place to be investing? Have you done the things that you need to do before you invest? Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, The Bulletproof Life. My name is Ronke Odewumi and I'm delighted to have you here. If you are new to my channel, on here I talk about money, managing money, budgeting, saving, investing, bossing your own money, being in control of your own personal finance. And if you want to be that person, then please press the red button on your right to subscribe. Don't forget to press the bell so you can get notifications every time I share a new video. Today, I'm going to be sharing the 7 things you need to do before you invest. Investing is a key part of building wealth, is a key part of building a bulletproof life, a life that is safe and secure from failure and setback, a life that allows you to live your dreams. Investing is key to that. But before you invest, there are some things you need to do. And I'm here to tell you those things. The first thing you need to do before you start investing is to build an emergency pot, an emergency saving fund. You're probably wondering what that means. But your emergency pot is your savings that is there for you when you have emergencies. When those things in life happen that you were not expecting, you were not planning for, you heard that crack sound and your boiler packs up, or your tires are gone, or you've gone for your MOT and your car has failed. These things come up, they are emergencies and they need to be resolved. That is what your emergency fund is for. And when you don't have an emergency fund, if you started investing without an emergency fund, when these things happen, you're going to go into debt. Or you're going to heat up your savings and use it up and then start running helter-skelter because you don't have any savings. The other kind of emergency that happens and has been happening a lot in the last 6 to 9 months is losing your job, being followed or being made redundant. These are emergencies that we don't exactly plan for, but when they happen, you need to have the funds to survive, to live, or to deal with these emergencies. And that is why the first thing you need to do before you start investing at all is to build up your emergency fund. How much should you have in your emergency fund? Some people say 6 months. Dave Ramsey says $1,000 to the American guys. I'm here to say you need to build 2 to 3 months of your monthly pay at the minimum. You can go up to 6 months of your pay, but please start out with 3 months of your income. If you have 2 months, is a good place to start. You need to have that emergency fund before you start investing at all. The second thing you need to do before you start investing is to pay off high interest debt. When you invest, your aim is to make returns, and investments pay between 1% to 200% of your money. But a lot of investments usually pay less than 20% in the first year of investing. Some even pay 5%, some pay 3% in the first year of investing before compound interest kicks in. And that is why I always say pay off high interest debt. Any debt that has interest rates over 10% is a high interest debt. And I'm talking 10% per annum. Is a high interest debt. It's going to take more from you than any investment is going to give you in that year. So you need to pay off your high interest debt first. You need to focus on paying off this debt before you start going into investing. What's the point of investing if you invest, you're going to get 5% on your investment, and then your high interest debt is going to take 10% off you? You're still making a loss. And that is why you need to pay off your high interest debts before you start investing. The third thing you need to do after putting together an emergency fund, paying off your high interest debt, is to put in place a process for paying off other debts. I'm not about living a debt-full life. I'm about living a debt-free life. So you need to put in place a process to pay off other debts. That means setting up monthly payments to your lenders. That means negotiating down your payments and arranging a payment plan for it. That means being aware of your payoff date when you're going to be debt-free from each particular debt that you have. You need to put in place that process before you go into investing. The first thing you need to do before you invest is to put the right insurance in place. A lot of us just ignore insurance. We don't believe in it. We don't care about them. We think they don't matter. They do. They do. Especially three types. The first one is life insurance. It's very important that you have life insurance in place, especially if you have children. You don't want to leave them hanging around without any benefits. God forbid something should happen to you. So you should have life insurance in place. The second one to have in place is home insurance. This one is especially important for people who own their own property. You should have home insurance in place because if anything happens to your property, you can rely on your home insurance. Some of them even have boiler coverage, which is fantastic for that a particular emergency. Also, if your house gets burgled and you have valuables in there, your home insurance will or should cover it depending on what plan you do. So I always say life insurance and home insurance are essential to you before you start investing. They are just an essential part of adulting. When you have them in place, then you know you're an adult and you are adulting properly. You are adulting, even though this adult thinking can be tiring at times. But you're adulting, you're on top of it. The third insurance I always say people should have is health insurance. When in the UK, we have the NHS. The NHS is fantastic. It gets things done for us. It puts us in a good place. You can see your GP whenever. You can go into the hospital. There is accident and emergency for you. It's great. The NHS is fantastic. I'm one of those people that thinks the NHS is a real life miracle. However, having health insurance is sometimes the difference between an early diagnosis and a late diagnosis of a life-threatening condition. Let me say that again. Health insurance is often the difference between an early diagnosis and a late diagnosis of a life-threatening condition. So the NHS, as you can expect, is quite burdened. There's a lot of us using it. There are queues, there are waiting times and so on. The doctors, the nurses, the specialists, they are doing their utmost best, but there is a waiting time. And when you have health insurance, sometimes it's what you need to get you that early diagnosis for something that's really troubling. So I always advise people to go the extra step to get health insurance, especially if you're over 40. If you're over 40, please put health insurance in place before you start investing. The fifth thing you need to have in place before you start investing is your retirement plan, your pension plan. Do you have a pension? Have you put a pension in place? Are you part of your organization's pension program? Because if you're not, you need to join it. If you're in the US, do you have a 401k? What are you doing about your future, about your 70s, about your 80s? The fortunate or unfortunate truth is that because of medical advancement, a lot of us are going to be around for a very long time, a very long time. And we are retiring at 60, 65. What are you going to do about your health, about yourself, about your survival? How are you going to survive beyond that age? And this is a question that your pension answers, your retirement plan answers. You need to have a retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, right after this video, you need to see how you can join your organization's pension program. If you're not employed by a company, if you're self-employed, you can get private pensions. In the UK, we have something called SIP, which is the self-invested pension program, which you can join through all sorts of investment platforms, and you can invest for your pension. You really need to do that as an addition to your pension plan. So please have a pension plan in place. It's so key. Once I'm 65 and I've retired from the hustle bustle of the rat race, I'm planning to ball. I'm planning to live it little, do all that, have fun. And we need money to do all of that fun stuff. So that's why you need to have a retirement plan in place. So if you don't have one yet, right after this video, please get on top of your retirement plan. The other thing you need to do before you start investing is to know your cash flow. You need to know how much money is coming into your account monthly or weekly, and how much of that is going out into your expenses, into your bills, into your debts. You need to know your own cash flow. And for you to know your cash flow, you need to have a budget. So you need to start budgeting your money, tracking your expenses, and understanding your cash flow. When you understand your cash flow, it helps you know how much you actually have to invest. And this is because investing is not a one-off thing. It's not something you do once and boom, I'm done. You go off. No, it's something you need to do consistently and repeatedly. And for you to be in a place to do it consistently and repeatedly, you need to know your cash flow. You need to know how much you have to invest. You need to know how much you can spare from your income monthly towards investment. And that's why knowing your cash flow, understanding your cash flow is a key step you need to do before you start investing. Knowing your investment goals is a key thing. Why do you want to invest? What are you investing for? What do you expect to get out of your investment? It's very important that you sit down with yourself and have this conversation, preferably in front of the mirror. That's why I have mine in front of the mirror, where I go like, okay, what do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? What's the plan, girl? Tell me. So you need to have that conversation with yourself. You need to understand what your own investment goals are. Why do I want to invest? How long do I want to invest for? And what do I expect to gain? And that brings us to the last point of what you need to do before you start investing. The last thing you need to do before you start investing is to educate yourself. You need to do your research. You need to know what are the investment instruments, what are the investment platforms, what are the investment wrappers, how can I do it, what can I do about it, what are the fees, where can I do it, what are the tax implications. You need to do your research, and your research could be by watching YouTube videos like this, reading books. There are so many good finance books, personal finance books that you can read. And I'm happy to do a video on my favorite ones. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. And the third thing you can do to educate yourself is to attend master classes like the one I offer, or to attend one-on-one coaching sessions with me, which I do. I'm happy to talk you through investment, investing, the how, the what, the when, the fees, how to get on it, how to be a confident investor. I'm happy to do that for you in the one-to-one coaching session, which I offer on weekends. And I offer a master class every other month, which is a group setting where you can be in a Zoom room with a few other people, and together we can learn about investing. So the last thing you need to do before you start investing is to educate yourself. Get on top of that schooling, get yourself educated, understand it, know what it means for you to invest, know the tax implications of your investments, so that you don't invest and HMRC is waiting for you in the hallway. Like, yeah, our investment is cooked and done now. Pay your tax on it because you haven't done it right. So these are the things you need to do before you start investing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope again I have added value to you and you feel like it's a good spend of your time. If you feel so, please like this video, drop me a comment, share it with your friends, let them know the things they need to do before they start investing so that they can invest right. Don't forget, if you would like to know more about investing in a teaching environment, get in touch with me. I offer coaching and masterclasses. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, press the red button on the right. Don't forget to press the bell so you can get notifications every time I share a video. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I post videos on Mondays and Thursdays, so I'm looking forward to seeing you here in a few days. Until then, you take care of yourself and keep living that bulletproof life. Bye-bye.